What's up everyone, and welcome to another Minecraft tips and tricks video. In this episode, we're going to be looking at super smelters. It is my goal for this video to strengthen your knowledge of furnaces and help you decide what design of smelter fits your needs the best. On top of discussing the different ways that you can build smelters, we'll also take a look at fuel, which ones are better, which ones are worse, and a few other things related to furnaces. Let's start off by talking about rates. A single furnace will smelt one item every 10 seconds or 6 items per minute. So a simple cluster of 4 furnaces will be smelting 24 items per minute, or a full stack in just under 3 minutes. Now you can always expand the number of furnaces to match your needs. You know, if you want like 2 stacks a minute, you can always build a super smelter that uses a minecart distribution system. In my experience, the simple 4-cluster furnace built at your worksite or at your base will be smelting enough to keep up with most demand. It's just so easy to build, and it gives you a full stack within 3 minutes. Start off by placing 4 hoppers going into a double chest, then place furnaces on top of those hoppers. The bottom hoppers will pull out the smelted items once they're done. Then we're going to place hoppers in the sides and in the top of all the furnaces. The side hoppers will load in the fuel, and the top hoppers will load in the items that you're trying to smelt. Now, of course, if you're needing to smelt, thousands of glass or thousands of netherrack, this won't keep up with that demand. But one thing I like to do to help it out is place hoppers going into the side of the topmost chests so that I can throw shulker boxes full of netherrack or sand so that it just keeps smelting items. If you just keep this stocked, getting a full stack every 3 minutes will add up over time. Now, of course, if your demand is greater, you don't have to build a minecart activated super smelter. You can just line them up like so. Your fuel will go in the back chest and your smelted items will go in the top. And then you could always build a little pyramid out of hoppers and chests so that you only have 1 input chest for your fuel and 1 input chest for your items to be smelted. This helps save time and energy by consolidating the number of containers you need into a single chest. So you just have 1 fuel chest and 1 input chest to dump items into. But one problem with this is it does not evenly distribute the items. Where the items go is kind of random. So some furnaces will end up with lots of items, and other furnaces won't end up with very many at all. But this definitely works. If you need more than 4 furnaces but don't want to mess with building a minecart super smelter, this might be for you. But if you don't like this design, or you just need even better rates, you can always build a minecart super smelter. This uses a minecart to load the items into the furnaces, so the distribution is fairly even. This helps keep all of your furnaces active at all times so that you don't end up over or under loading your furnaces. If only half of your furnaces have items, that will reduce your rates because not all of your furnaces are activated. One thing to mention about building super smelters is that you always want to have access to the furnaces, just to make sure that there's no problems. Sometimes you might accidentally drop some items in there that can't be smelted, and then this will back up the furnaces. But if you can see them, then it's easy to tell at a glance if there's a problem and if you need to go unplug the clog. And for these super smelters, it's always nice to have a shulker loader to easily dump in your items, and you can even fully automate a furnace so that it automatically turns on once it has a certain number of items in its reservoir. Fully automating it basically just saves on fuel so that you're not wasting any smelting tiny amounts of items. It waits until there's enough items to actually get the most out of your fuel. But of course, you can also build a bare bone version that doesn't have shulker loaders or automated stuff, and you can even build it at half size. And I have a tutorial for all of these super smelters that I will post here on the screen and in the video description, so that if you want to build a minecart super smelter, you totally can. And there is one other design of super smelter that I just kind of threw together because it's just not very good. You really shouldn't build this. It causes tons and tons of lag because it has moving parts. The basic idea is that you have it constantly rotating so that all of the furnaces get fed by a single hopper and a single chest. But really, this just causes so much lag for what it does. Just don't build this. It's not worth it. And then we have the blast furnace and the smoker, which are honestly kind of useless in my opinion. They will smelt specific items faster, but then can't smelt certain other items. So really the only times these are useful is if you have a farm that is producing like meat, you can use a smoker just to smoke it faster. Or if you have like a gold farm that's producing golden swords, you can use a blast furnace to, smelt swords quicker. But for normal super smelters, they are totally useless. Another thing to mention that isn't really a furnace, but while we're talking about smelting food, you may or may not know that you can place raw food on a campfire and it will cook it for free. So early game, especially, mainly early game, you won't have to waste any sort of fuel, fueling a furnace just to get some food. Now this does just drop the cooked food on the ground, so you have to be sure that you pick it up within 5 minutes or it will despawn, but mainly this is just really nice for early game. Now let's talk a little bit about smelting ore. So you can always silk touch ore to get the ore blocks, but if you smelt these, you only get one ingot. Whereas if you break them with fortune, you might end up getting more ingots. So in general, never ever smelt your ore blocks unless you just absolutely need to. Always try to break them with fortune because you end up with so much more. I mean, just from breaking those 10 ore blocks, we got 21 raw iron. That's 21 ingots compared to 10 if we just smelted the ore blocks themselves. So just always mine out your ore, especially if you have fortune. But there is an exception to this. When it comes to nether gold ore, you should not mine this with fortune. You only get a couple nuggets even if you mine it with fortune, but you can actually smelt the entire nether gold ore block and you will get an ingot from it. And that is way, way, way more than you would ever get mining it with fortune. The nuggets just do not add up. But if you mine these with silk touch and then smelt the ore blocks, you will end up with a ton of gold ingots. And the last thing we'll talk about is fuel. Lava is one of the best fuel sources. It's renewable, easy to get, but you need a bunch of iron buckets. Now bamboo burns so quickly that you actually need tons of bamboo to power furnaces. But when it comes to coal and charcoal, never ever use these as fuel. You actually have to manually collect these unless you have a wither skeleton farm, and that is just not worth it. There is much better fuel sources that are totally farmable and easy to obtain. Coal should just be used to make torches in order to make your world safer. And then we have kelp. Kelp is one of the best fuel sources because you can still zero-tick it. The zero-tick kelp farms still work. So all in all, the two best fuel sources is lava and dried kelp blocks. And I will tutorial a zero-tick kelp farm for you in the near future, so stay tuned for that. Now, technically, you still can use bamboo. It is also easily farmable, but you need a ton of it. You need a massive bamboo farm just to power your furnaces. I mean, it burns at an extraordinary rate. I mean, it's something like 6 bamboo per item being smelted or some crazy, number like that. But I do have this bamboo farm tutorial that you can totally build. I will link it in the video description just in case you're interested. But that's all we got for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something about furnaces. Don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you did or even what you didn't like about this video, and I will try to do better in the future. Or if you don't know what to say, just tell me hi. Comments really, really, really help out videos. So, talk to me in the comments. I would be super, super happy to hear from you. And if you have any questions or requests, again, just talk to me in the comments and I will do my best to help you out. And in the video description is a link to my Discord. You can join that Minecraft community to share pictures of your builds, find players to play with, or talk to me about redstone, or really anything Minecraft related that you would like to do. I always hear people talking about furnaces, both in my Discord and in my realms and stuff like that. So I decided to make this video to try to help you decide what furnace fits your needs the best. So again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you're one of my subscribers coming back to watch yet another Minecraft video, thank you so much. It's because of you that I can keep making these videos, so you mean the world to me. But that's all we got for this video, so until next time, I've been your host, OmLedu, hopefully teaching you a furnace trick or two, and reminding you, as always, don't forget to have fun. Bye-bye!